So I'm assuming for the past, say, a week or two, you've had this real frustration inside yourself, some sort of anger that you can't exactly define why you're having it. Um, you have no motivation to do the work that you used to want to do. You you don't enjoy talking to the people you enjoyed talking to so much around 2 weeks earlier. You know, you don't feel as excited about life anymore. You're sort of down on the enthusiastic train. Like you're not feeling very motivated to live life at all, but not in like a depressing way, but just sort of like I wake up and I try, but I just can't. I can't be the person I wanted to be today, and I don't know why. You know, I wasn't the person I wanted to be today, and I haven't been that person for the past week or two. That's exactly how you feel right now, and that's something I've felt for a while now, and I've just sort of come to the realization, why am I feeling this way? And the answer is simply because you're not living the way you want to live life. It's as simple as that. Like, you've just got to realize what your best version of yourself would be doing each day, how they be interacting with people, what their values are. Like, you've just got to write all that down, because as soon as you stop hiding who you truly are, which is what you've been doing for the past 2 weeks, you haven't like talked in a conversation you would have talked in before. Like, say you had an idea to add to this conversation, but you just sort of let it pass by. You're not singing in the car when all your friends sing in the car, because I don't know, you just don't really feel comfortable to do that. You're sort of, when you're alone, you're sort of just looking down, just thinking like of doing the things you've always wanted to do but never actually doing them. You're not making your first YouTube video. You're not doing those runs, not doing your workouts. You're not playing that sport you always wanted to get good at. And you've got to realize that the version of yourself that you're truly meant to be, the person who you truly are, is the person who, always chimes in when they have an idea in the conversation, always sings in the car when a song pops on that I like. They don't let other people's views on them like change who they are. They're just confident in themselves truly. And I guess what you have to do is write down those person's values. So the person you're meant to be, the person who you want to become, what are their values? Are one of the values like being that really extroverted person who talks to literally everyone and makes their day, like try to make them smile every day? Are they that person who really likes to be vulnerable around people, really tries to make them make themselves, I guess, exert who they are to everyone in the world, exert their sort of problems, and sort of help other people in the way that they talk to other people about their problems, and yeah, all those values. And then you've got to go through hobbies. What are their hobbies? What do they have to do? What do they want to do? What are their passions? If they could do any job in the world, what would it be? And if you don't have that answer, what would this person be good at? Write all that stuff down. How they interact in conversation, how would they interact with their family? What would their family dynamic be? And I guess, what do they look like? What's their style like? What's their face look like? What's their body look like? All those things, you need to jot them down. And when you have all that down, and more if you want to add to it, because I feel like I haven't really touched much on it, when you put all that down, then you go through each and everything you want to be for that person and say, how can I get there? Say, if you want to be more confident, you want to be that person who can go up to literally anyone and like be friends with them within 2 minutes. How are you going to do that? Well, I guess if you're extremely extroverted, the next step would probably be to, I say extremely introverted. The next step would probably be to like just go up to a stranger and say, "Hey mate, how's it going?" And you walk by. That's the first step. The next step will probably be, I guess, actually having a conversation with a stranger. Trying to get at least like 3 sentences in with them, and then say, "Have a good day." And then the next step would be talking to like 5 strangers that day. And then eventually you'll be that confident person. And you do this with everything. You want to work out, hit the gym this many times a week. You want to get like a sub 20-minute 5K, go for runs twice a week. Get all this stuff down, and you will become the person you want to be. And even this writing this stuff down, it just eases you so much. You just realize this is who I'm meant to be. It's just so clear that this is the life you're meant to live, and this is why you've been feeling so, I guess, angry lately, because you haven't been living the way you want to. You've been living someone else's life, and now you finally get to live your life, and that's just so extremely motivating, and so, I guess, beautiful in a way. You get to be that person you've always wanted to be, and you have a clear path now. You know what you want to do, and you've got to stay on track to being who you want to be. You want to stay truly yourself. You don't ever want to be someone else, You don't ever want to hide yourself, because your true, authentic self, when you become that, your life will be 100 times better than it is now. So thank you. That's all I wanted to talk to on today. Never stop being yourself, and thank you for being you. See ya.